Welcome back to the Terry and Jesse Show. Jess, this article is really incredible because, again, shows
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is because but everybody doesn't seem to realize that life is short and eternity is forever, and they really just think that we're like dogs or cats or sheep that we just hear and then nothing else. Oh, we go to sleep when we die. You know what? There's some rude awakening. This article says, is mandatory mass suicide for the elderly the future? Hit it, Jess. Wow. I mean, is this microphone on? I mean, hey, Jesse, when you reach 75, guess what? Do us all a favor and check out and commit suicide so that we don't have to put up with you anymore. See, this is what's happening, Jess. This article will demonstrate it.
Yeah, it's called John Paul II called the culture of death.
Yeah, we
are smack dab in.
And that we could kill the unborn. Doesn't it make sense? We can kill the longborn? Continue, Jess. Let's get the article.
So as individuals and nations rapidly advance along a path completely divorced from reality, we call this the culture of death, how human life is understood and valued is becoming increasingly apparent as calls emerge to murder those who are deemed a hindrance. You're in the way, Grandma. Exactly. This has been evidenced for decades now by the practice of abortion.
You're in the way, baby. What?
Country after country has fallen prey to the ideology that unborn babies need to be slaughtered to somehow bring happiness, personal freedom, or fulfillment to men and women in society. Indeed, if a nation allows its citizens to dismember and murder their unborn at will, then it cannot be described in any other manner than being in a moral decline. A free fall.
Yep.
Yet, as if the relentless murder of the unborn was not enough, those resolved on advancing the culture of death have turned their sights in recent years to the elderly.
Of course. Makes sense.
The old and infirm apparently now merit the same description as the murdered unborn. They are deemed annoying, without any purpose, a drain on human resources, and ultimately are in the way. These keywords form the ideological groundwork of each and every argument by which activists propose new ways to advance euthanasia or assisted suicide.
Let me just jump in. What do you see here? You see someone here with zero faith. They have no concept of redemptive suffering.
No.
They don't see anything other than what's in front of their hand. And they go, you know what? If I'm not having pleasure, I'm done. Kill me. I want to die. Because my purpose in life is really just to have pleasure. And this is the culture we're living in. And this is why we have to proclaim Jesus Christ louder today and to show that every action is like a blank check. If Christ's name is on it, it has infinite value. Jesse, this Japanese man, why don't you talk a little about what he's been doing in Japan and other parts of the country? This is really sad what's happening here. Go ahead.
A recent case that has shocked those who still value human life is that of the 37-year-old Japanese man, Yusuke Narita.
Narita, yeah.
Narita is an assistant professor of economics at Yale University, a position he has held since 2013. Recently, comments he made in a 2021 video interview resurfaced online, which led to Professor Narita earning media infamy overnight. Responding to a question about how to handle Japan's demographic issues, Dr. Narita stated, quote, I feel like the only solution is pretty clear.
Yeah.
In the end, isn't it mass suicide and mass seppuku of the elderly? Seppuku is the brutal custom of ritual suicide, of disemboweling followed by decapitation.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's a nice way to get rid of your grandparents.
Yeah.
Born out of the samurai practice, ritual suicide was deemed more honorable than allowing oneself to be defeated in battle and thus fall into the hands of enemies. The practice is more widely known as harikari.
Think of World War II, the kamikazes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But this was not the only instance in which the Yale-based academic advocated for eugenistic policies. In a different lecture to school students delivered last year, Dr. Narita expanded on his euthanasia ideas. He referred to the 2019 Swedish horror film Midsommar, in which members of a Swedish cult commit suicide by jumping off of a cliff. The cult members committed suicide at age 72, believing it to be an honor. Yeah, jumping off a cliff is honor, right? Well. Dr. Narita said, whether that's a good thing or not, that's a more difficult question to answer. So if you think that's good,
then makes you stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah, then maybe you can work hard towards creating a society like that. Wow. The ignorance here.
It really is.
This is a Yale PhD. Goes to show you, I'm going to say it, I'm going to get, people are going to get upset with me.
Say it, Jess. I know.
The stupidest people I've ever met have college degrees. Yeah, I said it. Now, does it mean everybody? Obviously, I got a college degree, but I'm saying, in generally speaking, the stupidest people I've ever met that say the stupidest things on planet Earth have a college degree. Okay.
That's it.
That doesn't mean everybody, obviously, but generally speaking, that's what I find to be the case. Okay. A third instance involved the academic raising the possibility of mandatory suicide in the future. An eventuality appearing to echo the Swedish horror film, the possibility of making it mandatory in the future will come up in discussion, Dr. Narita said in another interview.
This is sick.
As noted by the New York Times, Dr. Narita has passed relatively unnoticed in the U.S. until now. He's amassed a large following among Japanese nationals and has nearly 600,000 followers on Twitter. There's another doctor, a columnist called Masato Fujisaki. He said, quote, this statement should not be easily viewed as a metaphor. What is more serious is the fact that his comments have been accepted by the other performers of the program who are present at the event, close quote. Dr. Narita his comments welcomed by interviewers, but they represented a growing trend of thought in Japan. Dr. Narita said the following, quote, more and more people have a desire to cut off those who may be a burden or are a burden to them.
Yeah, because we're focusing on the unholy trinity, me, myself, and I. Continue, Jess.
Following the media storm surrounding his comments, the Yale academic Dr. Narita attempted to backtrack somewhat. He wants to backpedal here.
Yeah.
Informing the New York Times that the term, quote, mass suicide and mass seppuku, close quote, were just an abstract metaphor. In other words, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Just kind of, he said, I should have been more careful about their potential negative connotations. After some self-reflection, I stopped using the same words last year, said Dr. Narita. Yeah, he got smacked in the nose, Terry, so he's going to change his language. But he still believes in the philosophy.
Of course. Jesse, this article, and again, I want you to continue, but it really just shows the culture of death that St. John Paul II talked about. And again, why we proclaim life. I mean, it's been 6 months since Roe versus Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. Thousands of babies have been born because of that law being repealed and giving them life. Can you imagine what's going on the short end? Yeah, the little babies, and then on the elderly. I have a sister. I mean, my wife's sister who had a stroke, and she's been in bed for 2 years. She's a very devout Catholic. She hears Mass. She's in bed. She's offering her prayers and sacrifices. She understands, suffering and uniting, redemptive suffering. And I think about that. They would say to her, your life is useless because you can't do anything. And here she is offering her life and prayers for the Holy Mother of the Church. I mean, I'm just saying that's personal because it's part of our family. To me, I just think of the world saying, this is a waste of time. Pull the plug. And our faith says, no. We're not the authors of life. This is where we've become like self-gods, Jesse. And this whole euthanasia movement and abortion movement, it's all about, like I said, me, myself, and I, but it's also about having control of everything in life that I get to be. If I want to die, I have a right to pull the plug. You don't, because I'll tell you what that is.
It's a violation of the
mortal sin. I'll just say, if you know that, exactly. Go ahead.
It's in the 5th commandment. You can't kill yourself. Suicide is part of the fifth commandment. Thou shalt not commit murder.
That's right.
And that also includes yourself. Terry, and just to show you that the woke left thinks that killing is an answer to all problems, I've got an article here that in Ontario, Canada.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The funeral businesses over there, they've invented a machine. You put a dead body in the machine, it dissolves the dead body, it turns it into liquid, and then they put it into the sewer system. Yeah. And so they're saying this is good for the ecology. This is a good. Yeah, this is ecologically sound. Then I got another article I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
In Switzerland, they've devised these little capsules. They call them suicide pods. Yeah. So in Switzerland, you can go tell the doctor, hey, I want to kill myself. I'm depressed. I'm poor.
Yeah.
Any excuse, Terry.
Yeah.
And they'll put you, no problem, not a problem. They'll put you in this suicide pod, and you die within 1 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, you get to check it out like when you're healthy. I've seen the advertisements. They say, "Yeah, come on and see how it fits. Yo, get in there. What do you think? It's pretty comfortable, isn't it?" I'm laughing too, Jesse, but I'm thinking to myself, what has gone on in our world? Are we that nuts? But again, sin makes us stupid.
Yeah, it's a coffin-shaped suicide pod that they're using over in Switzerland. And over here north of us in Canada, they tell you they do the same thing. In Canada, as of 2016, you can kill yourself exclusively for mental health reasons. You can say, I got mental illness, I'm poor, I can't make the rent, I've got chronic back pain. There is no reason in Canada that you can offer. Any reason suffices for them to put you, to euthanize you and to kill you. According to the highest courts in Canada, it's part of the law of the land now.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about how they make the connection that these unborn babies that you killed, well, this is a way of solving a problem. Same thing with euthanasia. Oh, it's a problem. We're going to solve it by killing them. Makes no sense. Stay with us, family. We'll be back with more on the Terry and Jesse Show.